glad to be here with you. Again, I'm Bobby Morris. I grew up in Prosperity, South Carolina. Did my undergrad at Presbyterian College, went from there straight into the seminary, from seminary to Vanderbilt to do some PhD work in Old Testament, and went about things in a kind of an odd order, you might say. When I went to seminary, I had no intention of being a parish pastor. My only really intention was to do graduate work and teach. But as it is with God, things tend to surprise you, and your plans tend to get massaged and adjusted a bit by the time it's all said and done. So after having done actually 4 years of seminary, after which I was not ordained because that was not what I was working towards, and then going off and doing some graduate work at Vanderbilt, I showed up in the Senate office one day and was having a conversation with the bishop, and that conversation developed into, well, so just what would it take to be ordained at this point? So here I am. I serve a small parish in Prosperity, Mount Pilgrim Lutheran Church, founded in 1880. It has a barbecue pit out back, so I'm very happy there. But it's a great place to be. Been there for 5 years, and it's a smaller congregation, so it gives me time to continue to do some teaching at the seminary, which I enjoy. And also gives me the time to, at least once a year, lead a tour group to Israel, which I also love doing. And I'll be telling you a little bit more about that as we go through the week. At any time, if you have a question, if something isn't clear, if you just happen to think of something you'd like to ask, please don't hesitate to do so. Just wave your hand at me, and we'll just have a conversation. So please feel free to do that. I had really decided to, you might say, what we would do for the week before I really even knew what your VBS title theme was going to be, which it actually works quite well, to Mars and beyond. So, we're essentially doing some traveling in this class tonight by virtue of language, because I want to show you a bit of the Hebrew language tonight. I think we've titled this class The Language and Land of the Bible, particularly the Old Testament. And certainly when it comes to introducing you to some of the wonders and amazing things about Israel, we certainly are traveling to a place that certainly is not as far away in terms of miles as Mars, but is certainly as unique and special as the Red Planet is, if not even more so. So look forward to sharing that with you. So my plan, if you will, is to look at some Hebrew with you tonight, kind of give you a bird's eye view and a taste of that sacred language. Then for 3 nights to share some sights and experiences from Israel with you. And then on our last night to, if we dare, touch on a little bit of Middle Eastern politics where Israel is concerned, and some of the modern history and issues, but not just from a distance, to actually introduce you to some people that I have come to know and admire and call my friends there, of all political, religious, cultural persuasions, not just one point of view. So the big group, we get back together at what time?
8 o'clock.
Okay, all right, very good.
We got plenty of time.
Okay, so again tonight I wanted to introduce you a bit to the Hebrew language. That's the primary thing right now that I teach at the seminary, and you really can't talk about Israel, ancient or modern, or the Old Testament, without talking about Hebrew, because Hebrew is the ancient language that 99.8 or 9% of the Old Testament is written in. There's a very, very small portion, a few verses here or there, particularly in Daniel, that are in Aramaic, which is a very, very similar, close cousin to Hebrew. Same alphabet, much the same vocabulary, just the grammar's a bit different. But it is a truly, truly unique language, and that's why I wanted to share some of it with you here tonight. Never considered myself a language person. Did French in high school, did okay with it, but just kind of did it because, hey, you got to do a language, right? So you pick Spanish or French at that time when I was in high school. So I did French there. college, same deal. I don't really care about doing language, but you had to do it, so I thought, well, I've had some French, so I'll keep doing that. And when I decided, after having some wonderful religious studies professors at Presbyterian College in Clinton, that I decided to continue with biblical studies as a course of study, particularly Old Testament. Of course, going further in Old Testament meant, by default, that you had to learn and deal with and know and work with the language thereof, that being Hebrew. And I can still remember vividly to this day the very first time I was on the seminary campus in Columbia. It was one of those occasions where prospective students can come and look around and sit in on a class, meet some professors, talk to some folks, that kind of thing. And it just so happened where we had our little group meeting with the folks who were there checking the place out, happened to be in the room, Void 4, where the Hebrew was taught. And of course that meant there's the alphabet up on the wall, there's wall-to-wall verb charts all around, and I'm looking at this and thinking, is this really what you want to do? Because like I said, I always did okay in language, but it just never was really my thing. I could do it if I had to, but lots of other things I would rather be doing, given the option. But I thought, well, no, I love the Old Testament, I want to do this, so we'll just kind of grin and bear it and do this language, and that'll be that. And for the first time ever, I just really became enthralled with language, this language. Loved it. It clicked with me for some reason or reasons.